I always say to people, choose something that you know can grow.
Yes.
Like you're gonna ask yourself, oh, what now after that?
And you know how they say the universe whispers to you. You start feeling like, gosh, I'm feeling so old amongst these kids, you know, and then it shouts at you if you're not listening, right? And
About my husband, banjalo man.
my husband.
Comfortable, muntu. No one is more comfortable than Muntu. My husband.
Really?
He has no drive, no tenacity.
But the nice thing about career pivots and getting to that point where you feel like, okay, now I'm more confident in myself. Now I can challenge myself. Or, God forbid, you're being forced to pivot.
Yeah.
Is that it forces you to face your fears. Greetings and welcome to another episode of a 40-something podcast with me, Maboi.
And I'm Gabi Mbele.
Today we are, of course, talking about something that a lot of us who find ourselves in our 35 plus tend to grapple with at some or other point, and that is career pivots. So, on that note, let me just quickly take it slightly back. If you're new to the 40-something podcast, this is where we get to talk about life, love, and everything else that has to do with navigating life in your 40s.
Yeah.
So today we decided to talk about career pivots because it is a new year, and generally this time of the year, that's when people take stock of their lives.
Yeah.
And
it's a point of reflection.
Yeah.
I believe everybody goes back, looks at what they did, how far they
Absolutely.
are, and you set new goals for yourself. So we just thought maybe it's a good time for you to start having the discussion with your peers, right? Because there are peers. And are you doing enough in your 40s to actually get yourself to there? Yeah, absolutely.
Because sometimes you don't necessarily talk to your peers, but when you're sitting down and looking at those goals as 2025 and you're like, did I meet my career goals? Where am I going? And this is when some people tend to say, okay, I'm either stagnating in my job or I am no longer enjoying it as much as I wanted to, or that I thought, or that I was before. And I just want to do something different, maybe in the same space, or like, okay, you want to go back to school and start afresh with a new career, you know, because that's another option. And people sometimes tend to think when you're in your 40s, going back to school and starting afresh is too late.
Nope.
There's no such thing.
Nope.
You know?
You got to nip that in the bud. I mean, I think but I mean, it takes a while. It took me a while to get there. And I think I've always been a creative mind. I'm not afraid of risk. That's another thing. I'm not afraid of starting over, which is another thing. There's a lot of people who fear that.
So let's take it back
easier.
To those who might not know who Gabi is. What have been your career pivots?
Oh, goodness. I think a lot of people probably would have known me from my career when I was straight from college, which was journalism, right? I worked at the Sunday Times and I had a column and I was on TV for a lot of other purposes, all these other shows. And then one morning, let me not lie. It wasn't one morning. One day my editor sent me out to do a story and it turned out to be a 16-year-old little boy called Nasty C. And I was 31, I think, at that point. And I remember thinking, really, Gabi? Is this what you...
Is this you?
Is this you? You're going to be doing this? And he kept saying mama to me. Oh, bro, like, that kid humbled me. But he was like the coolest thing I've ever discovered. Like, and because he was at some event, and that's when I went and I cross-checked myself to be like, are you sure
you want to do this?
Yeah. And it took me going to LA. I think it was, I can't remember if it was the Bold and the Beautiful set or whatever. And then the journalists I was with were also much younger. And then I said, wait a minute, you're probably too old for this industry. And I think Teresa Owen was part of that. She had left the industry and moved to the Midlands or something to that effect. And I mean, she was much older, but I then wanted to have that discernment in myself to say, don't wait till you are 40 to exit.
Wait until you get pushed out.
Yeah, pushed out by a younger journalist, right? So rather push yourself out. And I did, confidently left that, decided to try comms PR, went to a global company. Amazing time, honestly. I think that was my biggest pivot, because also having a person who believed in me as from a journalist and knew that I could do it into PR.
Yeah.
I excelled like immediately. And yeah, since then left, and then now I'm a content marketer, guys.
But I like
always
it.
challenging myself. Yeah, I always say to people, choose something that you know can grow.
Yes.
Like you're gonna ask yourself, what now after that?
Yeah.
You must already set the tone. After journalism, what happens? What can journalism get me more of? Because once you've done that degree, right? What then? Right?
Yeah.
Don't do something that's going to, you're stuck and that's it. Yeah.
So, my career pivot, I started in IBM. So I'm those people that never had a job as a teenager because I was so tiny. Nobody wanted to hire me.
No. That was also my case.
School holidays, I never had a job.
Yep.
I was at home, right?
Yep.
So my career literally started at IBM when I was 21. Started in technical support. From technical support, I then moved to the sales side. From the sales side, I then left IBM and went to Bytes Technologies, where I was doing customer relationship management. And that taught me a lot about speaking in a room full of decision-making executives. You're young, you're standing there, tiny little thing in heels, and you're having to tell this board of execs what their business needs to do and all of that.
Yeah.
So that taught me quite a lot of about, it helped me garner confidence because
Right.
Nina, as much as I love to dress colorfully, I want to be that person at the back.
Sitting at the back.
No. So after that, I then radio along the way also found me, right? Then I started doing the IT career plus radio together. But then at some point, I just felt like I just couldn't do the 9 to 5 anymore.
Really?
And I quit completely and I went fully into radio. And
this is now what? YFM?
This is YFM.
Okay.
So started YFM when I was at IBM. And then, I was doing unrestricted breakfast with Fresh, moved to that. When he left for 5FM, I stayed, did Menage a Trois midnight to 3 a.m. Then I moved to 10 to 12. And then after that, at some point, again, I also started feeling like YFM was getting younger and younger.
Oh, yeah. Because that's what they were known for, isn't it? Yeah.
I was feeling old. And you know how they say, the universe whispers to you. You start feeling like, gosh, I'm feeling so old amongst these kids, and then it shouts at you if you're not listening, right? And it started shouting, and eventually I got fired. But at the time that I got fired, I was already pivoting into television, fortunately.
Nice.
So that's when Supersport found its way into my life.
Nice.
So then that became my main thing. And then at some point moved back into radio when I moved to Metro. So I've just had a lot of ebbs and flows.
Wait, so you did Metro and then after that was Power? Because there was a point where we worked together, Power, and then?
Yes, from Power, I'm now at Kaya. So that's on the radio side.
You've had a life.
But in terms of television, I went Supersport, left Supersport, went to SABC Sport, left SABC Sport, and then back to Supersport.
Yeah, lona batho ba sport nale ba izizinyana ne.
But it's not everyone
because
who
there's
gets
only
to
two,
move
right?
Between the two. It's not everyone who gets to move between the two.
Okay, because I just remembered I'm not gonna offend this guy.
Yeah,
I know his name,
Thomas.
Yes, I think his name is Thomas. He's
Thomas Mla.
Yes. Sorry. Does he speak Venek? Sorry, I'm so sorry. Does he speak Venek though? He does. Oh, okay. I've never heard him speak Venek, so that's why I'm like, So I'm trying to describe him because the guys you sit with on your show now on Supersport actually speak a lot of Venek. So I'm like,
they're all from KZN.
Oh, Sial. Okay.
They're all your people.
Umlambo though.
No, on my show.
Oh, okay.
On the Betway Premier.
Okay,
yes.
okay,
cool. They're all my people.
So
they're all your
that
people.
That guy and Robert also did the switch.
Yes.
Because I know they also did that. And I think Baring also did the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, Baring also did. He had Supersport at some point and he did SABC and he also did Metro as well.
Yes.
Because I know those two don't get along. Oh.
So the whole career pivot, it sort of just ebbs and flows and does its own thing. And then at some point I ended up in television production. Don't ask because in Tandizinto.
But isn't that the natural progression with television? Because you can't be in front of the screen all the time,
I guess,
right? Yeah.
Because also, I mean, I'm 45 now. I do also think about the next thing because unfortunately, as a female, men can be on television until
they are 120,
gray. Yeah, you know? But as a woman, there comes a point where people start noticing all your wrinkles and all of that, and then eventually it becomes
toxic masculinity.
Do you get what I mean? It becomes an aesthetics thing, and then they start telling you about the young people. So you sit back and
you
you're
find
like,
yourself
okay,
in Turkey.
Yeah, find yourself in Turkey, lifting my face.
Yay, because what? Oh, look at where Kris Jenner is.
But I don't want to do that. Do you get what I mean?
And you shouldn't feel obligated to. So your progression is to naturally step back. And
I want to naturally step back.
Scenes. Okay.
Eventually, I would like to get behind the scenes. But if can be within the sports space, but if not, I mean, reality TV is the biggest thing right now. So I'd probably want to direct.
Oh,
yes.
No, almost
not
just
have
like,
you thought I want to have my own reality show.
You do have some tea, but
I have ducked and dived reality shows.
That's what I'm like.
For so many years, I've had the opportunity to be on reality shows, and I've declined every single one of them.
You could clock it though.
No.
That's just me adding pressure to her, by the way. If she ever thought of it, I'm just adding.
I could never do reality show being the person.
That you are, and you like privacy,
Most definitely. Tanindaba zabantu. So I really think I would be great.
But you don't want yours out there.
No.
We see right through you, man.
No. So I've worked on a good few productions, behind the scenes of reality shows, and I've absolutely enjoyed it. So that is something that I want to do again.
So reality specifically, not
necessarily just reality, even sport. I don't mind, I don't mind being behind the scenes in terms of sport, because like I say, you have to think about the next best thing. But I do want to go back to school, but then my schedule sometimes, you
can't even make time to be here. So
my schedule sometimes is just such a mess where I sit and I'm like, I don't even have time for myself, because I must also juggle being a mom, right? So outside of everything, I must also remember that there is this human being who lives rent-free at my house, who sometimes wants my attention.
And there's absolutely nothing you can do about that. And that's a priority, to be honest, over a career, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. And because when schools are open on weekends, he doesn't have his devices, I now need to entertain him if I'm not working, right? So then that means I need to spend time at Pappuccino's or go to a water park or whatever. We need to go do something together. That's how I end up hanging out with all these young boys.
Yeah. Like, that's how you ended up at what's that other concert you went to that made
That's why I end up
judging you.
And that's why I end up around these boys, because I have to juggle the whole career pivot and whatnot. But even outside of that, the one thing I've learned though is that there was a point in my Kaya career where I was given an opportunity to go be a on-field journalist, and I realized that's not for me. Going out on stories and interviewing people, and no.
That's fair though. That's
fair.
I mean,
for me.
Yeah. I mean, I started there, so I went the other way.
Yeah.
That makes sense, right? Because when you're young, I feel like you still have the stamina. The older you get, it's kind of like, why am I not in my house?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But the nice thing about career pivots and getting to that point where you feel like, okay, now I'm more confident in myself. Now I can challenge myself. Or God forbid, you're being forced to pivot.
Yeah.
Is that it forces you to face your fears. Your fear
of
failure.
Yeah.
But I'm going to pivot. When you say risk more, it works. I feel like men can risk more than women at times. And I'll tell you why I say that. Because as a woman, more often than not, especially as a single mother, you can't just risk, because your risk comes at the detriment of your children. If it doesn't work out, whatever it is that you are risking, I am risking my child not having buroto.
I think that's where we
or the ability to go to school.
That's where we differ.
So no, I'm saying that's why a lot of women tend to not risk.
Okay.
Because it's bigger than just you.
Really?
Whereas with a man, if it doesn't work out,
there's nothing to lose.
Do you get what I mean? So for us, women tend to be a little safe. And I could be wrong. You're more than welcome to let me know if I'm wrong. But that's been my observation. Women tend to not risk as much, because if I be this thing, my kids will go hungry. I can't have my kids go hungry and then look at them going hungry and I'm sitting there thinking, but I left a 9-to-5 that was paying me well because I was hoping this thing is opopa and now I popanga. What do I do?
I think, I see it and I get what you're saying, right? I often find the people who risk less are actually the people in marriages than the people who are out. Yeah. Or maybe I'm looking at it in the corporate world, right? About my husband, banjalo man.
My husband.
Comfortable, Muntu. No one is more comfortable than Muntu. My husband.
Really?
Has no drive, no tenacity.
Has that been your observation?
And I'm saying it because almost all this, now I'm saying it more when I'm in corporate. The people I've noticed of being around about my husband lab, they're the ones who are stagnant. Okay. But the ones who are forced to fight for everything, and that's normally the individual parent, they will do anything for that thing. That's why you'd find us, for example, why would I overburden myself and take on studies, right? Because I'm individual parenting. There's all these things are looking at me, but because I know what I want, right? So I want to get to the next thing. That's why even when I got this, when I went and applied for the current position I'm in, I didn't think twice. Yeah. I will get there and I'm going to know how to do this job, no matter what. And guess what? I'm learning on the job and I can see it because there is no one is coming to save me.
Absolutely.
That's basically what.
Absolutely.
That's what pushes me. No one is coming to save me.
Okay, that's a different perspective.
Yeah.
That's a different perspective. And I guess on some level, you are absolutely right. Because if you are not taking that risk,
no one is coming to get me. No one is going to give me more money. Yeah. No one is going to make sure that I can have a little bit more extra in my pocket. There's nothing there for you, right? Yeah. But about my husband, because no, Mr. Mbele, baby, no, I ain't no baby here. No.
And by the way, we have nothing against married women.
No,
we are just observing on careers and how single women and married women navigate. That's all. Just now someone is
I just be honest?
So you're attacking us married? No, we're not.
Out of everything in this whole thing, I envy them.
Absolutely. And security.
Thank you. Because you sleep better than me. No, they sleep better than me.
That level of security.
You can tell by the way they walk into the office that girl slept.
Yeah.
Wena uyalwa la ntombo. Wena bo top cookie wena. Should happy birthday Beyonce. See love. Baba happy birthday Beyonce bakhuluma ngathi. Loyana ulele ukhele rolend ulele ubuthongo wavala amehlo akhe uyithu.
You have so many
when in your career you are there to fight.
You have so many
you have to fight. But that's what I'm saying. It's like and that's always been my observation. We are on flight mode.
Yeah. We are fight or flight all the time. All the time. And you know what you're talking about reminds me of the fact that, for instance, I was having this conversation with my mom the other day, talking about how, looking back at 2025, at most of my pictures, I was generally at work most of the time. And you sit there and you're like, but I work too hard. Yeah. But then at the same time, you're like, if I'm not working, especially as a freelancer, I'm in a no work, no pay situation. So if I am not, do you get what I mean? So like now, I've decided to take a month off of Kaya. That means I'm not getting paid for the month. Guess what? I need to find a way to supplement all those.
Yeah.
So, kuba naleyo situation yoguti.
Yours is harder, yeah.
So the risks, yes, the risks are there, but at the same time, you kind of have to balance. You have to balance. You have to sit back and say, okay, what is good for me? My mentality or my mental health, and outside of just my mental health, what is good for my career? Where do I want to go? Because also, let's not forget, there are people who are content with their life.
Baby, but
happy. Hey, don't you want to study? Don't you want a promotion?
Yeah, why you fucking billion?
Right, And
they're just content with you're gonna get 300 increase on your salary every year. What do you mean?
But I'm 300 rand.
And I've got 300.
Yeah, and you sit there and you're like, okay, in the reality of the thing, what is 300 rand going to do for me when electricity has increased, food prices have gone up, school fees has gone up, the Wi-Fi has gone up, everything is going up. But when
and there's a higher need now. I don't want to lie. There's a higher need in life. You had pressure at 40.
Yeah,
you should be living in your own space.
Yes,
should be able to provide for yourself.
Yeah,
ugowazizo mawuthi mama kumamako njengona 40.
Yeah,
buthi I'm sure nabokhulu bakubheka bathi umdala manje mama.
That's why I call it imamzo.
Because I call my mom Mavis because I'm like,
I can't say mama. It feels weird. So
it's only when we're having a conversation with them that I'd say umami uti.
Yes.
But I can't be mami.
No, and then Utato atidi. I think he'd probably be looking at me like,
right.
Why are you saying mommy?
It's
What's
weird,
happening?
right?
I should be saying mommy to you.
Right.
But at the same time, I feel like we, especially as women, we are in a fortunate, and I use the word fortunate loosely, situation, Yoguti. So many opportunities are now open for us. And I know a lot of men complain about that, but we need to balance things out. That's keys. Y'all had opportunities for so many years.
Yeah.
So now a lot more opportunities are open for us as women to get into certain positions. The only time I hate career pivots is when the women, especially Black women, are used
as a tool to bring sexy onto something.
Outside of sexy, for those jobs that need, when especially those high profile CEO jobs, when something needs to be fixed, they go and they call a Black female. And then once the company has turned around and everything is sorted, guess what? Enter the white male or even the Black male, but more often enough, enter the white male because the company has now stabilized. So pivoting is very important for one's growth. But at the same time, know why you're doing it.
Yeah.
Don't do it because, also don't just do it for the money. Because it's all good and well.
Yeah, no, you can't. Because you need, remember, my only thing that I always say to people, when you take a career or a career choice, and knowing what I know now, and I think I made a good choice because I followed my creative side, you have to be able to be happy in it when you wake up,
Absolutely.
when you go to bed, even when somebody says you have to go to this thing, go to this meeting, you have to be happy.
If they wake you up at 2 in the morning, you'd be okay doing it.
Correct.
Right?
Because if you cannot be happy in it that much, it starts eating at you.
Absolutely.
Right? It starts being that painful thing. And I think when I started realizing, especially with PR, that my human capacity was decreasing, that's when I started exiting PR, like slowly but surely, because I could sense that it's people are using each other in this industry and everybody's a publicist all of a sudden, and it's like there's no longer value seen in the people who actually do the actual work, because they don't understand, publicists don't understand that you actually have to pitch the stories, come up with different angles for every journalist. They just think it's fine. And I'm like, the newsroom is getting
see
smaller.
Some of the pictures where I sit and I'm like, okay, so you're sending me Gabi's bio and you're saying, I want you to interview Gabi.
For what? They all come with the same approach.
You haven't sold anything to me. If you say to me, listen, I've been listening to your show over the past 2 months, and I think this is where Gabi would fit in. If you put her on this particular slot, this is the information that she can give you. I'm just giving you free advice.
Yes, thank
you. As a PR person.
Thank
just give me Gabi's bio and say, I want her on your show. To do what?
Such a waste
Because
of effort.
Trust me, that's not the only email I'm getting so many emails, so you need to sell yourself. And that information also comes to those who keep, who send emails to myself personally. I'll speak for myself. Who will say,
hi, sis Gabi, I am so.
You know what I mean? Outside of that, someone who will say, listen, I've been working in the office, doing secretary, whatever. I'm just giving an example, but I really want to be in sport. Help me.
So that's always
help you with what? So sometimes come solution based, and that goes even when you are approaching a corporate mentor.
Yep.
Don't just come to someone and say, please mentor me. What is it that you want?
Yep.
Where do you want to go?
Yep.
what research have you done on this? What research have you done on me as a mentor? Because you need to know what value I'm going to add into your life.
What did you see?
Don't just want me to be a mentor because I happen to be popular in my space. But there needs to be some sort of value that you saw in me that you think I can impart to you. So, yeah, sometimes help yourself so that others can help you on the journey in your career pivot. Because people are always willing to help. That's one thing I've actually realized. People are willing to help, but only when they can see that you are willing to help yourself.
True,
First and foremost, you need to want to help yourself. So when you come to me and say, listen, I want to do sports broadcasting. I've started a podcast or I've started a vlog and these are some of the areas that I'm struggling in. Can you assist me in how to deal with this? How do I get accreditation with the PSL? How do I get accreditation with the SA20 League?
So be specific is what you're saying.
Tell me what it is that you want. How I can help you, how I can plug you into my space if I have the ability to plug you, or even if I can say, listen, call Gabi, this is what she does, this is what she's good at. Then I can call Gabi and say, listen, Gabi, I've spoken to this person, I said they must give you a call, expect this. That's you having helped yourself. But you can't, I want to be in spot. We all want to be in spot. Because if you say I want to be on television, I can say, go forth and prosper.
How did you get on radio?
Go forth and prosper. And if I respond and say, go forth and prosper, I'm being mean.
Right.
But I actually want to help you. But tell me how.
Give me more details.
Give me more details.
Right.
You know?
And I think it starts back at the drawing board where every January, and I say, guys, reflection is so important. I want to say this out loud. And maybe, I don't know, maybe it's because I'm on flight mode, because it's only me and my child looks at me. What are we doing different this year?
Yes.
We
can't do the same thing that we did.
I can't be in this frustrated point where, you know what I mean? What are we going to change so that we get to the point where we're not frustrated, right? Yeah. Are we going to build up our boundaries more? And career is all those things.
Yeah.
Are we going to go reach out to the guys at the other department because I want to understand the other department, how they feed into my job? Like you need that so much. And when you don't say anything, guys, I don't want to lie to you.
I agree with you on that one, because sometimes people tend to think that a career pivot has to be something that is formal. Sometimes it's informal. Sometimes it's as good as every once in a while, I go visit that other department that I'm interested in. Go there, have conversations with people, find out what it is that John, who sits across from you, does. You know, you could literally be in the same office doing different things. What is it that you do?
Yeah.
How do you fit into the greater scheme of the company? You know, in terms of what I'm delivering and what you are delivering, how do we
fit in together?
How do we fit in together?
Fair.
And before you know it, when you're having your, KPI meetings with your manager, you can literally say, oh, actually, I've been spending time with these people, and I think this is where I can move to. Because sometimes that's another mistake that we make. You have your meetings with your manager and you let the manager drive the entire conversation because you don't know what you want.
And you're not confident enough. So that's why I'm saying reassess. And the only time you actually have a reflection point or moment is Christmas and that New Year period. Can I just tell you, when the year ends, there's a lot of, and I'm noticing this because of what people post on their social media, right? Yeah. Thank you 20, whatever. There's so much leaning on possession more than it is on self-growth.
Oh, yes.
The effort you put in the possession and material should be the same amount you put in your personal, right?
Yeah.
Because upskilling yourself for me is how I've gotten to where I am.
Yeah.
90% of my former colleagues who are journalists will always be like, how did you do it? And I want to say, and I always question if maybe being an individual parent was what pushed me, or I don't know. Or am I overly passionate about certain things? But I am a passion type. If it doesn't make me, if I can't sleep, eat, drink, think it, I don't want it, right? Yeah. But where I am right now, and it also helps when you get into a place, when you have a leader that is so determined to see you grow. There's Udemy, there's so many places where you can get these free, LinkedIn learning, Google learning.
Skillshare.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Pivot. we are holding ourselves back by not doing the little things that we could.
Pivoting is very, very important.
I mean, we could go on forever and ever, but guys, I honestly could. That's my passion point. But I want to encourage everybody to like and subscribe.
Yeah.
Give us feedback. What do you want to talk about? I mean, in our 40s, knowing what we know now, if you're 20-something and watching this, take all of this and let it sink in, because no one is coming to save you, babies.
No one.
Absolutely no one. Your career is yours.
Yeah. Yep.
But we good, right? Career-wise?
Yeah. I'm good. I'm good. Thank you very much for being with us. Let's do it again next time. Bye-bye.
Take care.